a new song. I don't know why. I just feel like I just want to share the lyrics right now. We all go through things in our lives where we love the Lord, and we're all just people. And Peter was like that. He was one of Jesus' disciples, and writer of some of the books of the New Testament. And when he started out, he was just a fisherman. He fished with his brother in the Sea of Galilee. And one day he was fishing, and this rugged individual, Jesus, came up to him and talked to him and said, "Hey man, follow me, I'm going to make you fishers of men." And he dropped his nets and stopped what he was doing and followed Jesus for 3.5 years in probably one of the greatest adventures of anybody's lives. The 12 disciples walked and talked with Jesus. This is untitled right now, but it's Christ and Peter having a conversation after he had died. And there was a period in the New Testament where Jesus walked the earth for a very short period of time after he was resurrected from the dead. And as sensational and amazing as that is, there was some unfinished business that Jesus needed to take care of with his men that he had discipled to prepare to be able to spread the gospel of Jesus and his story. And the disciples are discouraged, and they're out and they're fishing in the Sea of Galilee, and they see well, to make a long story short, they thought they saw a ghost. But it wasn't a ghost. It was Jesus Christ himself. And Peter was so excited, he jumped into the water and he met Jesus on the shore. There's more of that story. You can read it in a couple of the Gospels, either Luke or John. And he meets Jesus on the shore, and Jesus is, they're not quite sure who it is, but he realizes it was Jesus. And Jesus is making fish for a meal. And he asked the disciples to join him, the guys that were fishing anyway. And just days before, Jesus had told Peter that he would deny him 3 times. Or he would deny him before the rooster crowed in the morning 3 times. And so they were sitting at the fire, and this song is about that conversation that Jesus and Peter had all those years ago. Well over 2,000 years ago now, since Jesus ascended into heaven. But this is before the ascension. This is a very unique time in Christ's story, where we get to see the resurrected Christ having conversations with the disciples and others. And first, I'm just going to read the lyrics. And this is a very, very fresh song. And this is I love you. I love you more than my mortal soul, Peter said. I love you, Lord, you know that I always will. The song starts out like this. He looked me in the eye and asked me, "Do you love me?" And I said, "Lord, you know I do." He looked me in the eye again and he said, "Do you love me?" I said, "Lord, I'm not a fool." I said, "I love you more than my mortal soul. I love you, Lord. You know I always will." Then he stood up by the fire and offered me some fish. He touched my hand and I took the dish. And he said, "Peter, do you love me more than this?" I said, "Lord, you know I do. You know that I love you." I walk with you barefoot in the rain. Just a common fisherman. I put down my nets and I walked away. Said you'd make me a fisher of men. I love you more than, I guess you know. I love you, Lord, down in the depths of my mortal soul. You died on the cross. Yeah, you set the captive free. You bring me hope again. Forgave me of my sin. And because of that, I know I'm born again. I love you down in the depth of my soul. I love you, Lord, more than you'll ever know, I guess. I walked with you barefoot in the rain. That first day, just a common fisherman. I put down my nets the day you said you'd make me a fisher of men. He looked right in my eye. "Do you love me?" I said, "Lord, you know I do." He looked me in the eye again. And again he said, "Do you love me?" And I said, "Lord, I'm not a fool. I love you more than my own mortal soul. I love you, Lord, and I know I always will." He died on the cross for the common man. That's me. I didn't understand. I walked away and cursed your name that day in the falling rain. Denied I ever knew you. And at that moment, the rooster crowed. And Christ on the cross shouted out, "It is finished." And he saved my mortal soul. I love you, Lord. And I know I always will. I love you, Lord, down in the depths of my soul. I love you more. And you, Jesus, you love me more than I love myself. Even when I walked away, and Lord, you know, I'll never be the same since you died for me that day. Thanks. And the rest of the story, Jesus goes on and he says, then feed my sheep. And from that day forward, Peter knew something different. That every moment's an opportunity. Every moment can be that moment.
Sing salvation song, set the people free. Yeah, sing salvation song, sing along with me. Yeah, sing a salvation song and set the people free. Yeah, the war that we fight is not against flesh and blood. Angels stand in our defense, standing in the shadow of mighty warriors. Angels are heaven sent. Bulls of power at their disposal with the command of Jesus' voice. And the war we fight is not against flesh and blood, but it's